The story of King Von and NBA YoungBoy's beef. The story between King Von and NBA YoungBoy is one of those moments in hip-hop history where music, street ties, and personal tensions all collided. To understand how it happened, you have to start years before the night in Atlanta. The beginning, O-Block and Baton Rouge. King Von, real name Davin Bennett, came up in Chicago's O-Block, closely tied to Lil Durk and the OTF, only the family camp. He started to rise around 2018 to 2019 with storytelling rap and a reputation for being authentic about his life. Meanwhile, NBA YoungBoy, real name Kentrell Gaulden, was already one of the hottest young rappers in the game. Coming out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he built a massive fan base off raw, emotional music and a relentless work ethic. By 2019, both were bubbling at the same time, representing two different regions, but both living with the pressures of the streets and fame. The tension starts. Things started getting messy around 2019 to 2020. Fans first noticed subtle tension when Von made comments online about NBA YoungBoy's music. In one live stream, Von said YoungBoy wasn't really living what he rapped. That clip spread fast and fueled speculation. At the same time, rumors were circulating about relationships. Von was linked to Jania Meshel, who had previously dated NBA YoungBoy. That connection made fans assume the tension was personal, not just musical. Quando Rondo gets involved. The next piece of the puzzle is Quando Rondo, an artist from Georgia who was signed under NBA YoungBoy. Quando publicly sided with YoungBoy and started throwing little shots at Von and OTF. What was once just subliminals turned into real animosity. Von dropped songs that people thought were aimed at YoungBoy. YoungBoy released tracks that seemed to return the fire, and Quando, being in YoungBoy's circle, was right in the middle. Lil Durk and loyalty for Von. Everything tied back to loyalty. He and Lil Durk were close, not just label mates, but like family. So when the tension between Von and YoungBoy grew, it wasn't just about two rappers. It became OTF versus 4KT/Quando's crew in the eyes of fans. Durk would later pour his grief into music after Von's death, but even before that, he stood solid behind him. The night in Atlanta, November 6th, 2020. The beef boiled over in Atlanta. On the night of November 6th, 2020, outside Monaco Hookah Lounge, King Von and his crew crossed paths with Quando Rondo and his team. Surveillance and witness reports say a fight broke out quickly. Von himself walked up and punched Quando. Within seconds, shots rang out. In the chaos, Von was shot multiple times. He was rushed to the hospital, but tragically, he didn't survive. The man arrested for firing the shots was Lul Timothy Leaks, a close associate of Quando Rondo. The fallout Von's death sent shockwaves through hip-hop. For Chicago, it was a devastating loss. For Lil Durk, it was personal. He lost his brother in music. Quando Rondo later did interviews claiming self-defense, saying Von attacked first. He also claimed he had no real beef with Von. But by then, the lines had been drawn. NBA YoungBoy never publicly spoke much on Von's death, but fans fueled speculation through lyrics and social media. Durk and YoungBoy would go on to trade indirect shots in their songs for years, deepening the rift. The legacy of the Beef King Von's career was cut short just as he was breaking out. His album, Welcome to O-Block, dropped a week before he died, and many believe he was on his way to becoming one of Chicago's biggest rappers. NBA YoungBoy remains one of the most streamed artists in the world. But his name will always be tied in the public's mind to the Von situation, even if he wasn't there that night. Quando Rondo and Lil Durk still carry the weight of that night in Atlanta. Durk has made multiple songs honoring Von, while Quando has struggled with public perception ever since. Closing. At the end of the day, the story of King Von and NBA YoungBoy's beef is about more than rap. It's about street ties, loyalty, and how quickly things can turn deadly when fame and personal issues collide. Von's story became a cautionary tale in hip-hop, while YoungBoy and Dirk continue to dominate charts on opposite sides of a divide that started with a few words, some rumors, and ended with one of the biggest tragedies in modern rap.